This customer told me her mom is obsessed with Stitch and wanted to order a special cake for her birthday. Here is her exact request. You can pause to read. She ultimately gave me creative freedom over the design. She did want a sculpted Stitch and she wanted something small, so I made a 2-layer 6-inch cake. She requested chocolate cake with cream cheese filling, and I started out by frosting only half of the cake in this ivory colored buttercream. She mentioned loving the idea of something beach related, so I decided to go with this sandy shore and ocean wave buttercream design. Once I frosted and smoothed half of the cake, I grabbed the back of my spatula and just gently tapped this over and over onto that buttercream. I wanted to create this sort of texture for the sand, and once I finished doing this to the top and the sides, I mixed this really pretty blue buttercream and I frosted the other half of the cake in this color. Typically when I'm frosting one cake in 2 different colors, I want a crisp, sharp line, but since this isn't a split cake, I do want this to look a little bit more organic, so I just frost it and leave the lines as is. I grab my scraper to smooth out the sides and then I frost the top. I get rid of that extra buttercream on the top edge and then I mix a lighter blue color. I grab my spatula and I just start blending this into the blue that's on top. Add some more and I keep blending until it gives that perfect beachy ombre look. Next, I grab this little fan brush and I press over the blue side of the buttercream. I start brushing in these wave patterns along the sides and then I move on to the top and do the same thing. I then bagged up some white buttercream and piped these small lines along that border of the blue buttercream. Then I used my tiny spatula to blend that white into the blue. I wanted this to look like a wave, so I grab that fan brush one more time and I blend those colors some more. I pipe a little bit more white buttercream before blending, and I love how the wave turned out. To give the sides just a little bit more dimension, I piped some smaller white lines and used that small fan brush again just to blend them out. She wanted me to write "Happy Birthday Mom" on the cake, so I used that same white buttercream and small piping tip to pipe this on top of the wave. And for the best part, she wanted that sculpted Stitch figurine, so I hand sculpted this Stitch playing a little ukulele. It took me a little over an hour to make this and the guitar. I carefully placed them right on top, and then I made several fondant seashells. I mixed 3 different shades of fondant to create this sort of marbled look, and then I used about 10 different silicone seashell molds. I placed those all around the cake to that sand side, as well as adding some to the board. And now this Stitch cake is all done. Here's what it looks like in my light box. The customer loved the cake, and she actually brought her mom along when she picked it up, and she sent me this message about 5 minutes after. I'm so happy they both loved it. I hope you guys like this one.